Season 2 Electromagnetic Waves, Episode 27 X-rays. Welcome, strangers. See, the thing is, voltage is also called potential difference. So you remember the way that we accelerate a charged particle? Well, not by overheating. That just increased the kinetic energy. I'd like to direct the turbocharged electrons we spoke about a couple episodes ago towards a target, a metal target. That's not a bullseye. Well, actually, it could be a metaphorical bullseye, if you wish, which causes negatively charged ions, the electrons, remember, to decelerate. The voltage between the metal target and the hot filament makes the filament radiate electrons, which accelerates as it's jack pumped with the turbo voltage speeds. Collision of these turbo electrons with the metal target leads to turbo deceleration of electrons, which converts into a petit curie, an X-ray. Well, technically the story is, grateful soldiers called Marie Curie's mobile X-ray machine idea petit curies, which is French for little curies, which is very cute. It's a shame that means a ton of broken bones, but nice that they could diagnose more accurately and therefore treat more accurately. And well, I bet it did save quite a few lives. CT scans and X-ray scans. Yes, X-ray scans, not just X-rays. Otherwise it'd be as useless as saying X-rays are used for X-rays. And come on. No, we will do it properly, yeah? And in general photography, or primarily medical imaging purposes and crack detection overall, like detection of cracks in walls and things. Yes, cracks as in holes in things that... Actually, we'll come on to that in detail in a later season. Here's a hint. It's to do with bats and halving time taken for waves to return. And well, isn't she a character in Greek mythology, like some sort of mountain nymph who, because of her offense to a certain cow goddess queen, she can only repeat or something like that, and the unrequited love of some guy who loves only himself. We all know that security at airports have a really big emphasis, we could say, on X-ray machines. I mean, obviously they don't want rando people with guns and knives and whatnot to just be... I mean, you wouldn't want that in real life anyways, right? I mean, not saying that airport isn't real life, it's just the bureaucracy of airports and systems in general. It surprises me sometimes. I mean, it shouldn't. It should be expected, but it does surprise me sometimes. It's interesting. X-rays. It's one of the more interesting parts of the EM spectrum, I think. Yeah, I'm just thinking how to word this. The battlefield thing was a cool thought, right? Cover the content, but I also need to talk because I like talking. Okay, I got it. So CT scans and X-ray scans. Yeah, X-ray scans. Not X-rays. Not X-rays. X-rays are not used for X-rays. Well, they are, but X-rays are used for X-ray scans, okay? We all know that the security at airports love X-rays. I mean, it is their job to search for prohibited items on an individual's person. I mean, I love how it's okay if a dangerous object is bought from a shop at the airport after the security checks, but not before you enter the airport. That's a big no-no. It's a bit silly, really. Whatever floats their boat, I guess. My guess is the money that goes into those shops fund their employees, or maybe it's just that people are more inclined to take a plane if they can buy last minute items at the airport instead of going home and getting them, and then they'll end up with them missing their flight, or actually maybe businessmen in general don't really care about they don't really care that much, and it's all a big money-making scheme, as actually that's most businesses, right? A big money-making scheme. An airport isn't a charity. It's a multi-million-dollar aviation. Yeah, I do like it. Rihanna's cute. An airport isn't a charity. It's a multi-million-dollar aviation industry. It's actually pretty impressive because medical scans thrive on X-rays. Hospitals, understandably, need the technology on a regular basis. It can cause cancer though, and damage and mutate cells and DNA, which is obviously a big minus, right? You wouldn't want mutating cells. You wouldn't want cancerous tumors, right? That's why the technicians that run the machinery try to avoid overexposure from the EM waves that are generated from the X-ray machine. Well, the EM waves, as in X-rays, big one that you want to avoid. Definitely. That's why, if you cut your hand, not cut, when you fracture your arm or something, and you go and get an X-ray, they always stand behind the barrier because constant overexposure will lead to cancer, basically. It's a cool job, right? But I don't know, pros and cons, tricky. Would you do that? To be fair, there's a risk of exposure anywhere. There's a risk of death in general anywhere. What a lovely thought, but it's true, right? It's true. It's true. Anyway. So, that's why technicians that run the machinery try to avoid overexposure by removing themselves physically from the situation. Not the situation, from the X-ray room. Even when someone like me who slipped over a gutter lid and cut her arm and was laughing at the ridiculousness of the story, they just left the room, right? Which makes sense. It's because small dosage of radiation builds up from normal healthy cells to cancerous cells, which you don't want, obviously. It's not benign, it's cancerous, like proper cancer. See you next time at Physics in the Necrotic World. This is your host, Rimona Christian, R out.